Pirates of East Carolina make the trip across the state to battle the Charlotte 49ers in the 7-0-4. Welcome in live from Truist Field. I'm Zach McKinstry, and tonight we get a game one of a crucial American Conference series featuring two of the top Friday arms, not just in the conference, but in the country. For ECU, it's the sophomore lefty from Kernersville, Ethan Norby, who has dazzled since becoming the ace, wins in 4 of his last 5 contests, 67 strikeouts to 12 walks, highlighted by his record-breaking 19 strikeouts back on March the 7th. And speaking of March the 7th, that was a special day for Charlotte's top dog, Blake Gillespie, who twirled the program's second ever no-hitter against James Madison, and that domination has continued since. 33 strikeouts to 3 walks over his last 3 starts, and a chance to work against a tough ECU lineup here today. The 1 through 9 for the Pirates in today's series opening contest. It is Braden Burris that'll lead it off. Braxton Trammell, the left fielder, will bat second. Colby Wallace at third base behind him. Then Dixon Williams, the cleanup man. Walker Barron will catch and bat fifth. John Collins, the grad student DH, at 6th in the order. And Austin Irby, Alex Boucher, and Alex Peltier round out the 7, 8, 9. And for Charlotte, it's Connor Marinack, the leadoff man. The shortstop, Noah Furch, will bat second. Carson Bain in center. Cody Gunderson will clean up for the 49ers. Then Dawson Bryce, Logan Petit, Chandler Riley, Thad Ector, and Johnny Sutrick, the left fielder, round out the order for Charlotte. Coaches talking and look to get us ready to go in what is going to be certainly an exciting series between these two sides. Here's a look at Charlotte's defense. Sutrick, Bain, and Furch, the outfield. Then Dawson Bryce, Connor Marinack on the left side of the infield, Chandler Riley at second, Cody Gunderson at first base, and Logan Petit behind the plate. And you look at that fielding percentage at .985. They have been stellar this year. 7th in the conference last season in fielding percentage. This year, they are 6th in the country with only 18 errors up to this point through their first 32 contests. So defense, a big part of this Charlotte side that is trying to continue a great start in this one on a pretty good streak overall. Winners of 8 of their last 10 games. And it has been the bats that have got them going on that streak. Obviously, the hot pitching of Blake Gillespie in the Friday spot helps, but a lot of streaky hitters in this 49ers lineup that have started to catch their groove. And on the ECU side, it's quite the opposite. Losers of their last 4 contests and a lot of frustration for the Pirates. Cliff Godwin, after the loss against NC State in their midweek game, talked about how they were offensively anemic and our coaches can't hit. Got to figure out some of the right guys to play, and then said he didn't know if there was enough belief in this ECU side, and said you got to have pride in the jersey. So hoping that his team can come out with a little more pride in this one and improve upon their 20-14 start, 6-3 in the American Conference. Both of these teams just 1 game back of the leaders in the AAC. So this series means a lot for both dugouts. Should be a fun one here in Charlotte. Plenty of fans on hand. Good crew from Greenville making the trip, as well as Charlotte close to home, about 15 minutes from campus, where games 2 and 3 will be tomorrow. And happy to have beaten the rain earlier today. Chances of maybe postponing this game, but the original 6:05 start pushed to 7:30, and we will play it here in this lovely, lovely stadium. It's head coach Robert Woodard talking with Cliff Godwin as we take a brief look at the American standings. UTSA atop with South Florida, 2 teams that are out to a pretty solid start this year, and they weren't really expected to be in that area. South Florida only 31 votes in the preseason coaches poll and have really impressed on the young part of the season. It was ECU that was the top dog in that preseason coaches poll. 8 first-place votes and 80 points overall. And they have had their ups and downs to start the year. Now to a 6-3 start in conference play. Wichita State, a very similar case on their end as well. 2 first-place votes for the Shockers and 72 points overall for Wichita State. But they're only out to a 4-5 start. And the 49ers coming off 2 games that they took over Wichita State last weekend. Meanwhile, ECU getting swept by FAU last weekend at home and trying to turn around their losing streak as the 49ers get ready to take the field. Umpires in today's contest. It's Jeff Spizak behind the plate, Mike Patton, the first base umpire, Eric Lovelace at second, and Bobby Entrekin, the third base umpire in this American Conference battle. Pinstripes for the 49ers and a look at Blake Gillespie as he gets ready to toe the rubber. Man, has the junior from Claremont, Georgia, been good this season, making his 9th start of the year. And the numbers back it up. 67 strikeouts to 10 walks on the year. As I mentioned at the top, 33 strikeouts to 3 walks over his last 3 starts. A whip below 1. And 49 2/3. He has been an innings eater and has displayed some nasty stuff this season between his fastball, slider, and changeup combo that he will feature today. On top of that, 13th best strikeout to walk ratio in all of baseball, and 12.14 strikeouts per 9 inning for the Canadian right-hander. Coming off 6 innings of work, only allowed 1 run at home against Wichita State last weekend. 2 hits allowed, 9 strikeouts to 3 walks, and has been averaging about 100 pitches over his last 3 contests, all of which he earned the win in. Battery between him and Logan Petit has been solid all year. Petit, one of the better defensive catchers in the country. And of course, it helps when you have the man calling the pitches, the head coach Robert Woodard, in his 6th year. Plenty of experience as a pitching coach across college baseball. 2021 CUSA Coach of the Year. Petit fires down to second base and is ready to get us started. And after the long delay to open up today's contest, we are ready for first pitch at 7:34 Eastern here in Uptown Charlotte. Right-handed hitting freshman Braden Burris leads it off. And the first pitch inside to get us going with ball 1. Burris, one of the many instant impact freshmen on this ECU side. A team that had to essentially completely reset its roster in the offseason. Ended up bringing in 31 newcomers in the fall, 20 of which were freshmen. And they've got 4 true freshmen in the starting lineup in this one, between Burris, Trammell, Irby, and Peltier. There's a strike on the 2-0 offering. And it's a 2-1 count to the right fielder from Snow Hill, North Carolina. Just misses the top of the zone, make it 3-1. Burris in the preseason was regarded as a useful utility infielder. I don't know if anyone saw the season that he's had coming. Upstairs, ball 4, and a leadoff walk, a rarity from Blake Gillespie on the mound. And the first base runner aboard to start today's ball game. Burris reaching base at a .517 clip this year. 400 his average leads the team, and .526 slugging paces the way for the Pirates as well. On top of that, 12 for 15 on stolen bags. And an ECU side that has 42 stolen bases this season. Nothing doing on the first offering, home to the left-handed hitting Trammell. Switch hitter, I should say, from Hickory, North Carolina. And a .409 career batting average at Fred T. Ford High School, where he was Conference Player of the Year. Charlotte's going to keep a close eye on the run game all series long. This is a pitching staff that loves to pick off to first base. And a catcher behind the plate who is one of the top arms defensively in all of college baseball. 13 runners caught stealing this season, is tied for 8th most in D1 baseball for Logan Petit. As Trammell will look to keep the line moving with his .375 average. Fans on a good off speed and evens the count. Freshman that earned his way into the starting lineup as the season progressed. Got a start in the series opener against Memphis. Runner on the move and just tipped at the plate. Will reset everything as the count moves to 1-2. But he tallied 4 straight multi-hit games. And Trammell currently on a 5-game hitting and RBI streak. He's been in the lineup since that Memphis series. One, two. Gillespie less command with his slider out of the gate than the junior would hope. Tied with his counterpart Ethan Norby with 67 strikeouts for 8th most in the country. Lead off the first base bag and the 2-2 home from the righty. Runner on the move. Petit's throw down on a hop. Tag in time and they got him. Logan Petit adds another base runner to his resume. 14 runners caught stealing now for the Vandy transfer, and out number 1 in the top of the first. Great pick by Dawson Bryce. As the count at 3-2, swung on and missed. And Blake Gillespie with a strikeout. Good looking change up there, and coming up empty is the left fielder. So it brings up Colby Wallace now with 2 down. Off the plate, and that's ball 1. And just to make that caught stealing that much more impressive, this is a Charlotte team that shifts all the time. So it's the third baseman, Dawson Bryce, that covered the bag on that one. And he made a great play. Ball and a strike to the sophomore from Bisco, North Carolina. Another important piece of this young core was listed as the number 32 third baseman at the end of March by D1 Baseball. Pops up the bunt attempt. In comes Dawson Bryce, and he'll make the catch. So after the leadoff walk, Blake Gillespie settles in the top of the first inning with a strikeout and a popped up bunt to send us to the bottom half of inning number 1. 49ers to the plate. We're scoreless. We are back for the bottom of inning number 1 as this 49er lineup gets a look against Ethan Norby. Friday's starter, left-hander, works quickly, and his first offering misses for ball 1. Norby, a fastball that can run up to 93, a high 70s sweeping slider. Good cutter and a nice changeup as well, the 4-pitch mix for the sophomore. Inside. And ahead is Marinac, the leadoff hitter for the 49ers. Has been bumped up to the leadoff role after bouncing around in the order to start the year. Taking all the way on the 3-0, and we'll have a hitter's count. The senior from Reading, Pennsylvania. Upstairs, ball 4. And leadoff man aboard for Charlotte on a 5-pitch walk.
Now batting right fielder number 8, Noah First.
There's a look at Norby's numbers so far this year. 4-3 the record. And again, 67 Ks to 12 walks. Slider misses, and that got the back foot of Noah First. And another free pass. So now the first 2 base runners aboard for Charlotte.
Center fielder number 1, Carson.
Great look there. Just off the laces. And enough for the free pass for First. So it doesn't take much to get Charlotte here in a scoring opportunity. It's Carson Bain at the dish. Checks his swing and takes ball 1 on a pitch that looked good from Ethan Norby. As the runners take their lead. Bain, the top RBI man in this lineup. Comes up empty, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Jammed foul. So as good as Norby's been, it hasn't all been perfect. Last 3 outings has allowed 6 home runs against. But the strikeout stuff has still been there. Nice breaker. And it just dips below the zone. 2-2. Bain will have to protect. Shoots it foul. Late on that 89-mile-an-hour offering. The senior from Jacksonville, Florida, hitting .280 on the year, but is riding a 4-game hit streak. Called strike 3. Norby sits him down on a good pitch on the outer half. And there's the strikeout stuff to get the first out in the bottom of the first. Still work to do, though, for this ECU side. And now this one scoots away. Mix up there with Barron behind the plate, and it allows 2 to move into scoring position for the 49ers. '20th wild pitch of the year by this ECU pitching staff. And to add on to that, got to face a tough hitter in Cody Gunderson at the plate. And is on a 30-game on-base streak. This one off the top of the mitt. It's an ECU defense that has had its struggles this year. .973 the fielding percentage. 5th in the conference. But a couple of big errors in the loss against NC State in the midweek. And the defense not the cleanest in the home series against FAU last weekend either. Slider is dribbled foul. And the count stays at 2-2. 1 out, 2 aboard for Cody Gunderson. Line through the right side, base hit. 1 run will score. Rounding second is Firch, and he gets the stop sign. Cody Gunderson gives the 49ers the lead in the bottom of the first.
Stepping into the batter's box for Charlotte, third baseman number 18, Dawson Bryce.
One of the hottest hitters in all of college baseball, Gunderson, sits on it and blasts it through the right side to give the 49ers a 1-0 advantage. Time called slows down the delivery from Norby, who works out of the stretch with runners on the corners. Good slider to Dawson Bryce for strike one. Norby gave up 5 earned in his start against FAU last weekend. And now a ground ball up the middle might get him out of it. To second for 1. Throw to first in time. ECU turns 2. And Charlotte can only convert with a 1 in the bottom of the first. Looks like we might have a review. Here's the replay. Definitely tight at the first base bag, and it looks like the umpires are going to take a look at it. So won't get out of the inning yet. It would be the 21st double play of the season by this Pirate defense. And would be a timely 4-6-3 for Ethan Norby and this Pirates side. Oof. Doesn't get more bang bang than that. And that toe's on the bag. Looks like he might be safe there. Perfect shot from our CTV production team here at Truist Field. As the umpire is taking a good look at it, and Ethan Norby trying to stay loose. If it is overturned, Dawson Bryce would pick up the 21st RBI of his season, a sophomore transfer from Merrimack. Was the NEC Freshman of the Year last year, hitting .357. Has carried over that pop to this 49ers side, hitting over 300 to start this season. And as good as a look you're going to get on that shot. Umpires out of the tunnel, and we have a decision. Safe at first base, and the 49ers dugout erupts. Making 2 runs on the board here in this bottom of the first inning, and it will continue as Dawson Bryce beats it out and breaks up the double play. So 2 outs now as Noah Furch comes home to score, and the runner on first base for Logan Petit, the Vandy transfer and 49ers backstop. Second time in this contest already that Norby has come set before the umpires given the green light. And now Petit fouls away the first. Charlotte's side that is racing to 8 runs. They have only scored 8 runs 7 times out of their 32 games this season, but 6-1 in those contests. With how well this pitching staff has been all season long. Winners of 8 of their last 10 and up to 88 in the latest RPI. Not a 49ers side that likes to run. Quite the opposite, actually. 12 for 24 on stolen bases this year. That is in the bottom 6 in all of Division I baseball. Team that does not play a lot of small ball. They do have 38 homers, though. Second most home runs per game in the American. This one's blasted. Left center field. Petit to the wall. It is tracked down just in front of the fence. Ethan Norby gets out of it on the line out from Logan Petit. And a nice play by the center fielder Alex Peltier, who covers a lot of ground. Stays in the yard, but it's the 49ers that strike first. 2 runs in the bottom of inning number 1 on an RBI single from Gunderson and an RBI from Dawson Bryce. We're back in a moment for inning number 2. Top of the second inning gets kicked off with Dixon Williams at the plate. As the second baseman and leader of this Pirates side digs in and will hit from behind. 2-0 Charlotte with the advantage after a pair of runs in the bottom of inning number 1 off Ethan Norby. Blake Gillespie starts with a swinging strike 1 against the junior and Greenville native. Was one of the top players in the New England CBL this summer. The league MVP, hitting .390 was Dixon Williams. And he lines this one into the gap. Carson Bain on the move and misread it initially, but adjusts his line and makes the catch for the first out.
Catcher number 24, Walker Barron.
Much needed adjustment there from Carson Bain. And as good as the defense has been, we have seen a couple of mistakes in the outfield as of late for this Charlotte side. In that series against Wichita State last weekend, the Shockers stunned the 49ers in game 2 down to their final out. A line drive to right, which looked like it was going to be caught and win the game. Got by the right fielder and the bases were cleared, allowing Wichita State to take a 4-2 lead, which they would hold in the bottom of the 9th and take game 2 of that series. Since then, the 49ers took that series finale. And Blake Gillespie continues to look phenomenal. Swing and a miss on the slider, and he picks up his second strikeout as he sits down Walker Barron.
Designated hitter number 66, John Collins.
So now it's the DH, John Collins. He'll blast this one out towards left field to the wall. Leaping, the catch is made and left by Johnny Sutrick. Oh my goodness, he held on to it up against the wall. And the 49ers left fielder back to his feet after a stellar play defensively. Robbed a home run in the series against Memphis and robs extra bases here. John Collins retired as Sutrick catches it up against the wall, and Blake Gillespie retires the side in order in inning number 2. 49ers to the plate when we return. Ethan Norby back to work after 6 Charlotte hitters come to the plate in the bottom of inning number 1, and it's the 49ers with a 2-0 advantage. First pitch swinging is Riley, and he launches it foul to start behind 0-1. Riley, the grad student out of Concord, North Carolina, one of the better stories in college baseball as he started his career with the 49ers. Decided it wasn't for him, left, went the junior college route. Played at Gaston, not too far from here, before transferring to Campbell. Now back with the 49ers and making an impact. Lazy fly ball, and Peltier runs it down. And a nice effort by the ECU center fielder as he records the first out.
Designated hitter number 2, dazzled.
Peltier from Haymarket, Virginia. Don't think many expected him to see as much playing time as he has, but the freshman getting the start here today and is one of the best defenders in this lineup. Switch hitter Thad Ector gets a turn and sees 2 quick pitches as the count to 1-1. Grounded out towards Boucher. His throws on the money, and Norby bounces back nicely with 2 quick outs here in the second. And we will see a change. So Johnny Sutrick due up in this 9-hole, but after that collision out in left field where he held on to the catch to rob extra bases from John Collins, he has been removed and is replaced with Spencer Nolan, who will take over presumably in that left field spot. Takes strike 1. Nolan, the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina, has been known as a defensive substitution in his time with the 49ers. Had a perfect fielding percentage last year. Only the 5th player in program history to go error-free. Fouls it back. Now behind 1-2. 2 hits and 10 at-bats for Spencer Nolan. Both of those hits coming against Gardner Webb earlier this week. Late on this one, but keeps it inside the line, and it's fair. Karams off the wall behind the home bullpen, and Nolan with his 3rd hit of the season. It's the 49ers in business with 2 outs in the second. Junior utility man just tucked it inside that first base bag as he was jammed on that inside pitch. So comes out of the dugout cold and ends up with a single. And only the 2nd hit for the 49ers. Marinac will foul back the first, and he's behind 0-1. Walked and scored. Senior Division III transfer out of Misericordia. Takes strike 2. Was the D3 player of the year last year. 2-way player that won a national championship with his school. And he's struck out on 3 pitches by Ethan Norby to leave the runner stranded. So the ECU starter does a good job working out of it and settles back in with 3 quick outs, leaving the runner stranded on the pinch hit single from Spencer Nolan. And we're on to inning number 3 with a 2-0 Charlotte lead. Defensive changes start us off here in inning number 3 as Carson Bain moves out to left field. And Spencer Nolan, who came in for Johnny Sutrick after his collision up against the wall, he'll take over in center. And with that, the shift is on for this 49ers side as Gillespie starts against Austin Irby. He'll take ball one upstairs. After the leadoff walk to Braden Burris, Gillespie has retired the last 5 ECU hitters in a row with a pair of strikeouts. And he finds the zone on the second effort to the Pirate first baseman. One of those 4 freshmen in the starting lineup out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. And the backdoor slider makes it 1-2. Irby 2 for his last 15 at the dish. Awaits. Got him looking. Goes back to that backdoor slider and sits down Austin Irby. 3rd strikeout of the contest for Blake Gillespie, and out number 1 in inning number 3. It's the outside black on that one. And that's the first looking strikeout for Gillespie. Now finds the zone on the first to Alex Boucher. Another Virginia native out of Chesapeake. Behind 0-2. Breaks off the plate to the Old Dominion transfer. Boucher started 102 games with the Monarchs, .299 batting average and 11 homers as a true freshman. A bit of a drop off last year, but back in a big role with ECU and comes up empty on another slider and another Blake Gillespie strikeout.
Center fielder number 11, Alex Peltier.
Man, has that pitch been money today for the right-hander. In front of a big crowd here in Charlotte, getting it done. And he sticks with it on the first home to Alex Peltier. Oh, 0-2. Just off the end of the bat and enough to stay alive for the center fielder. Was All-State first team last year at Paul VI High School. 5 extra base hits for him. 2 home runs. No balls and 2 strikes. Blasted out towards left, and Carson Bain, who made the shift to start the inning, makes the catch out in left field, and another 1-2-3 frame for Blake Gillespie. Has retired the last 8 ECU hitters and sends us to the bottom half. It's Charlotte out in front, 2-0. Bottom of the 3rd starts with Noah Furch swinging at the first and sending it out towards right center field. Alex Peltier on the move again. And again, a long distance for the center fielder to run, but he makes the catch. And 1 quick out for Ethan Norby. Mentioned it at the top, but an important series for both sides. In the latest field of 64 projection, Baseball America had both of these 2 teams in the first 4 out. Charlotte at 19-13 overall compared to ECU's 20-14. But the American absolutely up for grabs right now, with the 2 leaders, UTSA and South Florida, at 7-2. And both of these 2 sides at 6-3 among the conference ranks. 1-1. Again, late on it is a 49er hitter. Carson Bain can't keep this one fair, and it dribbles foul as the count's to 1-2. Struck out looking in his first at bat. Behind in the count here, and Norby winds and delivers. Pulled down the line, and right there is the third baseman Colby Wallace for out number 2.
First baseman number 22.
Not completely barreled off the bat of Bain, but Wallace all over it, and Norby working efficiently in this third frame. He gets another crack at Cody Gunderson, who delivered the RBI single in his last to start the scoring and added to his on-base streak. Make it 31 consecutive games for Cody Gunderson, all 31 that he has played in. Takes a strike on that offering. 2-1 the count to the big first baseman. But making a leap up from the junior college level at Hutchinson CC as he takes strike 2. 10 home runs in each of his 2 seasons there. Dominant hitter with the Blue Dragons and has easily translated to the D1 level. Not on that pitch. Comes up empty on the fastball upstairs, and Ethan Norby gets his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Leaves Charlotte scoreless by retiring the side in order, and he sits down the top 49ers hitter to send us to inning number 4. It's ECU trailing 2-0 here at Truist Field. Back at the ballpark as we start the 4th inning. It is the 43rd all-time matchup between these two sides. ECU leads 36-6 and have won 15 of the last 16 contests. But the last game between these two sides went to the 49ers after a 9th inning grand slam by Carson Bain. Now Blake Gillespie back to work as he'll face this order for the 2nd time through. First time through the 1 through 9, it was 4 strikeouts for Gillespie, and the only base runner to reach was Burris on his walk to start the game. He's ahead 2-0 here. Had his shining moment in the series against Coastal, earned the starting lineup spot, and has not looked back since. Had a 10-game hit streak, which had his average up to 433 at one point, and it currently sits at 400 to lead this ECU side. 2-1. Taken for strike 2. Out of the windup, Gillespie's 2-2. Weekly hit right side, nobody there. Long way to run for Riley. His throw offline, and a 49ers break as it hits the runner and keeps Braden Burris at first base. But it'll go down as the first ECU hit in this ball game. If that had gotten by the runner, it looked like it was destined for the 49ers dugout, which would have allowed the Pirate right fielder to move up 90 feet. Instead, he's at first with a lone ECU hit up to this point, and the leadoff runner aboard for Braxton Trammell. Strike 1. ECU side that's played a lot of small ball this year. Plenty of bunts, plenty of stolen bases. An adjustment after losing 70 of their 85 home runs from last year. Slashing and coming up empty is Trammell, and now he's behind 0-2. Weekly hit right side. Runner had to stop. Riley goes to second. Off balance, there's one, and they can't turn it. But the 49ers do get the fielder's choice in the first out of the inning.
Third baseman number 10, Colby Wallace.
Really good play from Marinak to adjust and keep his foot on the bag there, as the throw from Riley was not in the breadbasket. The 49ers take their first out as Gillespie faces Wallace in a same side matchup. Good first pitch slider, and Wallace fans and misses. Popped up a bunt attempt in his earlier at bat and gets more signs from his head man. Taken on the inner half, strike two.
That's strike two.
Oh, 2 home. Comes back with a fastball at 91 miles an hour and misses low and in. A ball and 2 strikes now to Colby Wallace. Leads this team in doubles, tied for the team lead with his 7 home runs, and outright leader with 30 RBIs this season. 1-2. Wallace, a two-way talent with a good fastball on the mound. 8 appearances this year for the sophomore. And a check on the runner before the 1-2. Only 8 runs scored in the last 3 games by this ECU offense, including 2 one-run performances. Trammell to lead off the first base bag. Swing and a miss. Gillespie comes back with a fastball and picks up strikeout number 5 against this ECU lineup.
Second baseman number 1, Dixon Williams.
Strikeout numbers continue to climb for this 49ers pitching staff that has had a lot of them over the course of the season. Dixon Williams takes a strike. 10 double-digit strikeout games in the last 13 for the 49ers, and 21 total on the campaign. And in those 21 games, 14-7 the overall record when the 49ers strike out 10 or more. Hard hit foul, and it's 0-2. Williams, 1 hit in his last 13 at bats, and the hit a solo home run against FAU. Oh, 2 home. Just outside. D1 Baseball has him as the number 6 American prospect for the 2025 MLB draft. Number 119 overall. Behind in the count. Hit hard right side, and it's through. Down the line on the move is Trammell. He's up to third base. Picked up in the corner. He gets the wave. Throw to the plate is in time. Relay guns him down, and Petit applies the tag at the plate. Gets by the diving infield of Chandler Riley. Bobbled out and right by Furch. But Riley's throw on the money, good enough for the tag. And a big time out at the dish to keep ECU scoreless. It's Charlotte in front, 2-0. We're back in a moment. What a relay to gun down the runner at the plate to conclude The top of the fourth inning, 9-4-2 on the Dixon-Williams double. And it keeps ECU off the board and Charlotte in front 2-0. Dawson Bryce leads it off and takes ball one as Norby delivers the second. There's a good off speed that's in there. His stock has continued to rise, a preseason All-American. But the 49ers are cracking the code against Ethan Norby here tonight. That's the third hit of the ball game, and Charlotte with a runner aboard to start the bottom of the fourth. Single for Dawson Bryce follows up his RBI fielder's choice in his last at bat, and now Logan Petit another turn after barreling one in the first inning. And Alex Peltier ran it down. Good slider. And Petit, a hack and a miss. Redshirt sophomore from Powell, Tennessee. Coming off a 3-for-5 effort against Gardner-Webb. Just a piece, and it's strike two. His home run in that Gardner-Webb victory makes it 14 straight games with a homer for the 49ers. Longest streak since they had 15 to end the season last year. Just upstairs on the 1-2, and Petit will see another. One of the higher strikeout totals in this 49er lineup for Logan Petit. Has struck out in each of his last 8 contests. Good eye there off the plate, and it's full at 3-2. Dawson Bryce, only one stolen base on one attempt this season, takes his lead and the payoff. Breaking ball is mashed out towards left field. Track, wall. Logan Petit has left the yard. Just missed one in his last at bat, but did not miss that one. 2-run homer, and the 49ers in front by 4. Man, has he been a spark for this 49ers lineup, and he knew it off the bat. Got that slider again and whacked it towards the scoreboard. Make that home run number 5 on the season for Logan Petit. He's up to 24 RBIs on the year, and now a visit to the bump. Nothing doing yet in the ECU bullpen, but pitching coach Austin Knight will have a chat with the Friday starter for the Pirates. 7th home run that he surrendered in his last 4 starts. And Charlotte out to a 4-0 advantage with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. Riley jammed on the first pitch. Races to first base, but Austin Irby beats him. And a good bounce back as Norby's got the first out. So the homer for the 49ers makes it 39 home runs on the season and extends the streak to 15 straight games with a homer for the green and white. Thad Ector has some power at the plate. 3 homers for him on the season. Tied for the team lead with 6 doubles. And he fouls away the 1-0. So for Norby, had 17 earned runs in 47 2/3 inning tonight. But all 4 runs earned here in the first 4 innings. This one lined over the leaping glove of Colby Wallace and down the line in left. Ector up to second and in on the slide. He's got a 1-out double. And the 49ers hits keep coming. Coming off a season high 16 hits in the midweek win over Gardner-Webb. That's already hit number 5 for Charlotte. Golfed the fastball at the bottom of the zone. And Thad Ector with his 7th double of the season. So now it's Spencer Nolan again, coming off the single in his last on the jam shot down the line. Even with that, the infield remains shifted to the left side against Nolan. Comes up empty on the 1-0. Austin Irby well off the first base bag and deep. Dixon Williams behind the second base bag and the left side of the infield closer to the line. Nolan well behind that one, and it's 1-2. Three hits for the 4 batters at the plate this inning. Nolan lays off the 1-2. Hard hit up the middle. Norby snagged it, looks to the runner at third and decides to hold it and go to first. Thad Ector is bailed out as he scoots up to the third base bag. Looked like Norby had him dead to rights, but instead opts for the second out of the frame. So the speedy Ector 90 feet closer for Connor Marinac. As a big looping slider catches the zone for strike 1. On what has turned into a gorgeous Friday night at the ballpark. Marinac launches this one foul and finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Had some worries the rain would cause issues earlier tonight. And an hour of postponed baseball before we got going around 7:30. Smooth sailing since. 1-2. Marinac comes up empty, and Norby gets the strikeout on the 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Charlotte adds 2 more to the board thanks to Logan Petit. His blast out to left center field has the 49ers in front 4-0. Top of the 5th on the way here in Charlotte. "11 years ago today was the first ever Knights game at this ballpark on April 11th back in 2014. Me and my dad were here. That's a picture. The skyline looks a little bit different than it does today. Shout out to Jason watching here at the ballpark. But 11 years later, a college baseball game between 2 sides with tons of next level talent. A lot of names we will see through the minor league ranks in the coming years. As Blake Gillespie back to work against Walker Barron. Struck out the ECU backstop in the 2nd inning. Behind 2-0. Comes back with a fastball and gets the called strike 1. Barron out of Atlanta, Georgia. Sophomore was recruited as a defense-first catcher. He's got it done with a bat. Ground ball left side, long throw for Marinac. And he gets it done. 1 down to start the 5th.
Designated hitter number 66, John Collins.
Only 2 hits surrendered by Gillespie up to this point. The double, which the relay at the plate gunned down the runner, and the single that started that frame will now face John Collins, who was robbed of a hit by Johnny Sutrick in his last at bat. Belted one, which was destined for the wall in left field before Sutrick made the catch and the collision. Good slider in for a strike, and it's 1-1. So Collins, similar to Charlotte shortstop Connor Marinac, a Division III star, played at Middlesbury. And he finds outfield grass on this swing as he drops it in front of Carson Payne for a 1-out hit. The two never played each other, but last year Marinac did get to play his team after Collins had left. Had a couple of RBIs in that contest, and Marinac's Mears Cordia ended up taking the victory in the NCAA Division III tournament. But Collins went from there to Boston College. Now finds his way to ECU, where he's hitting .286 on the season and will add to it with his 1-out single. Austin Irby starts ahead, 1 ball and no strikes, as the DH leads off the first base bag. This one is absolutely roped down the first base line, but foul. And it's 1-1. Younger brother of pitcher Michael Irby was the 5th overall prospect out of Virginia in last year's graduating class. One. Off the plate, missing arm side is the right-hander. Two balls and a strike. Up the middle, chance at 2. Gillespie to the second base bag. There's one, and the turn is in time. 1-6-3 gets Gillespie out of trouble in the top of the 5th. And the 1-out single is sat back down. Blake Gillespie continues to roll. He's scoreless through 5 innings of work, and the 49ers come to the plate leading 4-0 at Truist Field. Lots of fans on hand to enjoy this 55-degree evening in Charlotte, North Carolina. Norby back to work as he gets a swinging strike 1 against Noah Furch. Already up to 70 pitches in the contest for Ethan Norby, who has worked late into games all season long. 91 pitches in his last outing, 97 prior to that against Rice, which was 7 innings of work. And in that 19 strikeout performance, only 103 pitches in 7.1 innings. Finds strike 2 on the slider, and the count even to Noah Furch, the Charlotte right fielder. This one tailing out towards right center field with some meat on it. On the move is Peltier, and he tracks it down. The ECU center fielder with another nice play on the run. Takes away extra bases from Charlotte, and the first out in the bottom of the 5th. Throws on the brakes. Bounces off the LED screen out in right field. Now the first pitch to Carson Payne put in play. Low throw from Dixon Williams, but Austin Irby scoops it out of the dirt, and 2 down. So following that Thad Ector double with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, it's been 4 straight retired for Ethan Norby, including a strikeout which ended that frame. And the lefty will face Cody Gunderson once again, who is 1 for 2 with his RBI single. Oh, and 2. Gunderson with a number of absurd stats this year. 3rd in the American in batting average, 3rd in slugging, 1st in on-base percentage. But he has struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats. And he sat down by Ethan Norby to conclude the 5th inning here. 1-2-3 by the ECU lefty, and he has retired the last 5 Charlotte hitters. It's still the 49ers in front, 4-0. We move along to the 6th coming up next. 8-9-1 in the order to kick us off here in inning number 6 as Blake Gillespie continues to cruise. We'll face Alex Boucher, who struck out in his only other at bat. And he'll start in an 0-1 hole. Gillespie at 62 pitches. 61 pitches through 5 innings of work for the righty. Hard hit up the middle. And ECU back in the hit column, their 4th knock of the ball game, and the leadoff man aboard. The 2nd time through the order, the Pirates have started to put it in play a lot more. All 4 hits this 2nd time through, as well as a hard hit fielder's choice and a hard hit double play. Peltier will start behind 0-1. And the line out to end the top of the 3rd inning, and has had one heck of a day defensively, running around and making catches out in center. Strike 2. Boucher not too much of a stolen base threat. 2 stolen bags on 3 attempts on the season. And Petit has already gunned down 1 ECU runner tonight. 0-2 from Gillespie. Swing and a miss. Make that strikeout number 6 for Blake Gillespie.
The right fielder, number 26, Blake.
Peltier tried to lay off that slow looping breaking ball as long as he could, but delayed swing comes up empty as it breaks below the zone. Braden Burris has walked and singled. The only man that Gillespie has yet to get out in the ECU 1 through 9. And Coach Cliff Godwin giving signs to the runner off the first base bag, Boucher. Shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike. Look over the shoulder for Gillespie. 0-2. Yes, he did. Punched out by Gillespie for strikeout number 7 and back-to-back Ks here in the 6th. Might have checked the swing there, but punched out regardless, and Burris hangs his head as he returns to the ECU side. So a leadoff single, now back-to-back strikeouts. Trammell. He'll take the first for a strike. Only 3 hits in the contest against NC State, and Cliff Godwin is going to talk with his 2-hole hitter. After that loss against NC State, he said his team was offensively anemic and said our hitters need to get tougher at the plate. Again, on a 4-game losing streak and trailing with 2 outs here in the 6th. Fouled away, and it's 0-2. Boucher, the runner off the first base bag, and Blake Gillespie in 0-2. Out in front, pulls it foul into the camera well. And the switch hitter back to work. Trammell has struck out and reached on the fielder's choice, but was the runner thrown out at the plate as part of that 9-4-2 relay, which ended the top of the 4th inning. Gillespie still in the driver's seat. Here's another 0-2. Good battle at the plate to stay alive. Trammell has only struck out 15 times this season, but the strikeout to walk number hasn't been great. Only 3 walks for the freshman infielder. Off the plate, and the at-bat continues. Seven strikeouts today from ECU hitters, but the first real long at-bat we've seen to help drive the pitch count up against Blake Gillespie. Ooh, close on the 1-2 offering. Misses the outside edge and evens the count. And the battle continues. Stays at 2-2 after the fastball fouled off. No action in either bullpen. Both sides trusting their Friday starters. Infield shifted to the right side against the switch hitting Trammell. Sat down. Long battle is won by Blake Gillespie, who after the leadoff single in this 6th struck out the next 3 ECU Pirates. Slider at the top of the zone, catches Trammell looking and sends us to the bottom half. It's Charlotte in front 4-0.
Third baseman number 18, Dawson Bryce.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Dawson Bryce swings at the first, down the line and right. It is gone. One pitch is all it takes for Dawson Bryce to add to the lead. Solo blast might have left the ballpark. And Charlotte in front 5-0. Merrimack transfer had 15 homers last year, only 3 up to this point, but over the home run porch. And that one might be out to Mint Street.
Number 9,
8 home runs surrendered by Ethan Norby in his last 4 starts. And has given up 5 earned in this one on 6 Charlotte hits, and Logan Petit back to the plate. Ahead 2-0. '49ers catcher has been seeing it well. Lined out in his first and the 2-run blast in his last. Takes the strike on that offering. 3-1. And this time he will take the base on balls. So Ethan Norby off the mark after the solo homer. Walked his second batter of the ball game, and the 49ers a base runner aboard with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Righty in the bullpen for ECU as Norby climbs up to 82 pitches. But a favorable lefty-lefty matchup for the Kernersville native. And that's never a good sign as the bullpen ball finds its way down towards the plate. Poteet the runner at first. Riley takes the first home, a slider in for strike 1. Chandler Riley 0 for 2 on the contest. One of 2 49ers hitters that has yet to reach base. Upstairs. Hit .297 at Campbell. Back here with the 49ers, a .262 average, which has been a bit tainted as he has 1 for his last 14. Skied out towards shallow left field. In comes Trammell, and he makes the catch for the first out. Inning started with the opposite field solo home run from Dawson Bryce, his 4th homer of the season. The walk to Logan Petit has him on first base, and the fly out from Riley, the first out in this 6th. Thad Ector will hit from the right side once again, or maybe not. Cliff Godwin is out of the dugout, and this could be the end for Ethan Norby. So a matchup with a lot of star power was highlighted by these Friday night starters, Blake Gillespie and Ethan Norby, going head to head. And as it stands, Gillespie with the advantage over Norby in this one. He'll exit through 5.1 innings of work, allowing 5 earned runs and a new arm into the game for the Pirates. It's the 49ers in front, 5-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. We're back in a moment. It's the freshman Ian White Jr., right-hander, that will take over, making his 15th appearance of the season, and becomes the first arm out of the bullpen. As the right-hander will face Thad Ector, who will bat from the left side of the plate for the first time in this one, after his previous 2 at-bats against the lefty Norby. Joe's bunt pulls back, it scoots away. So the first pitch out of the bullpen for White is a wild pitch, which moves Petit up towards second. Second wild pitch of the ball game for this ECU staff. One 0. Bounces this one again. 2 balls and no strikes. 14 previous appearances for Ian White Jr. Longest outing on the year is an inning and a third, so not a long reliever by any stretch this season. Coming off an outing against Florida Atlantic where he got 2 outs. Did allow an unearned run to score. Struck out 10 and walked 9 in his 9.1 innings this year. 2 balls and a strike to Thad Ector. Ector turns around on this one. Right center field sends Peltier on the move again, and again he will make the catch at the track. Second or third time in this ball game that the 49ers have been a couple of feet shy of a homer. As we take a look at Cliff Godwin in the ECU dugout, his 11th season as the Pirates head coach. 8 regionals, 4 supers of the 7 in ECU's program history. Still trying to make it to Omaha for the first time are the Pirates. Spencer Nolan comes up empty on the breaker and starts behind, no balls and a strike. With 2 outs, will get his 3rd at bat of the evening. Came in the 2nd inning after Johnny Sutrick made that leaping catch against the left field wall, was pulled from the game. Replaced by Nolan, who took over in center. Carson Bain moved to left, and Nolan 1 for 2. Nice slider, breaks onto the inside part of the plate. Started at the hip, and it's a ball and 2 strikes to the Wilmington native. 1-2. That one gets away. Petit took a break and now decides to come home. Nobody covers. And the second wild pitch of the inning scores the runner from third, and the 49ers add another. That is the 3rd wild pitch of the inning. Petit had thrown on the brakes, but eventually made the right decision to come home. Nolan now the 2-2. Comes up empty on the slider, and the strikeout will conclude this 6th inning. But the 49ers grab 2 more. Solo home run the other way from Dawson Price, and Logan Petit takes a trip around the bases on a walk and a couple wild pitches. It's Charlotte in front in this one, 6-0 as we head to the 7th.
Waiting on the top of the 7th inning for ECU.
Top of the 7th inning starts as we take a look at the 49ers dugout and the season they've had this year. 19-13 overall, 6-3 in conference. A couple of heartbreaking losses, but some come from behind victories as well, and currently riding a pretty nice streak, winning 8 of their last 10. Blake Gillespie is a big piece of that, and he is back to work here in this 7th. Will face the heart of the order, though. Colby Wallace, Dixon Williams, and Walker Barron. Ball and a strike to the ECU third baseman. 0 for 2 with a bunt, pop up, and a strikeout in his 2 at-bats. Swings through that one as well. And it's 1-2. Nothing doing in the Charlotte bullpen. It's Blake Gillespie for the foreseeable future, and would expect him to throw at least 100 pitches in this ball game at the rate he's going. Low and in, and 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the first hitter in this frame. Hard hit left side, and it gets through. Right in between the diving gloves of Bryson Marinac. And a 2-strike leadoff single by Colby Wallace.
Second baseman number 1, Dixon Williams.
Just split the gap there. And Wallace picks up the single, his first hit of the evening. For the sophomore who entered tonight hitting .281. Eight strikeouts today for Gillespie, and will now face Dixon Williams, who gets this one out towards right field, but just off the end of the bat. And it's caught by Noah Furch for the first out.
Catcher number 24, Walker Barron.
Maybe with the torpedo bat might have caught that one with a little more barrel. But it's reeled in. Walker Barron gets a turn now. 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out in his 2 at-bats. And there's a strike. Only had 14 games played last year and 1 start in his first year with ECU. It was 5 for 11 in that short time. Tips this one off the mitt of Logan Petit behind the plate. And it's 0-2. Wallace 1 for 2 on stolen bags this season. And the Pirates trailing 6-0 in the top of the 7th. Gillespie's 0-2. Defensive swing gets the job done. And the Pirates backstop stays alive. Sophomore out of Atlanta, Georgia, had jaw surgery this offseason. He's worked his way back into playing shape and in the lineup tonight. Swing and a miss. Good fastball on the inner half. Barron might have got a piece, but held on to by Petit, and make that strikeout number 9 for Blake Gillespie.
Designated hitter number 66, John Collins.
So 2 outs now after the leadoff single, and John Collins back up to the plate, has hit it hard in each of his 2 trips. Finds the zone, strike 1. At 26 games played at BC last year, 12 starts, 12 hits and 7 extra bases with the Eagles of Boston College. 0-2. Gillespie in the driver's seat. Now an arm in both bullpens warming. Looks like the righty Joseph Taylor for the 49ers. And another righty getting loose for ECU. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. make that 10 strikeouts for Blake Gillespie. And the righty is through 7 scoreless innings.
Get out of your seats, on your feet.
One of the top pitchers in all of college baseball is twirling another gem here tonight. It's the 49ers in front, and it's time to stretch. New arm into the ball game for East Carolina. Bradley Zayak, the 6'3" freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia, will become the 3rd pitcher into this ball game for the Pirates. Only making his 6th appearance. Wearing an ECU jersey. Will face the top of the order, starting with Connor Marinack, and the first home from the righty will be delayed as he steps off. And now a visit here from the pitching coach.
Everybody clap your hands.
Looks like the pitch comm not working. So not the ideal start to your appearance at Truist Field in front of a big crowd that has stuck around in this bottom of inning number 7. But Zayak returns to the bump and is ready to go to start us off. And he gets a swinging strike 1 against Connor Marinack. Shortstop reached on the walk in the first, but has struck out twice since. Zayak, a pitch to contact type of pitcher. Only 4 strikeouts in his 10.2 innings this year. And he gets the ground ball he wants right up the middle, and the shift is there. Second baseman Dixon Williams scoops it up and fires to first. 1 down. Longest outing of the year for Zayak was his 3 1/3 against George Mason. Officially 0-1 the record. Has allowed 7 earned for a 5.91 ERA. It's Noah Furch, who has flown out to center twice and been hit by a pitch in his 3 plate appearances this evening. Just misses on the 1-0, and a hitter's count now for Furch. Former junior college transfer out of Kirkwood Community College. A bit of a mascot fight going on as the pitch home is again a weak ground ball on the infield. This time it's the shortstop Boucher. Makes the play in 2 outs. Well done by Boucher, making that one look a lot more easier than it is. So the relievers doing their job here for ECU as Ian White came in the bottom of the 6th, got a fly out and strikeout. And Zayak, the 2 outs on 2 ground outs against the Charlotte batters that he's faced. 1-0. Carson Bain on top of that one and dribbles it foul. So the count even. And a double knockout on top of the first base dugout. One. Ball and 2 strikes. Carson Bain hitless today, and he's yet to reach. Struck out, lined out, and grounded out in his 3 at-bats. Pokes it out towards left field, and it'll drop in. Two-strike single keeps his hitting streak alive. It advances up to 5 games now and hits in 11 of his last 12, hitting .389 over that span.
First base number 22, Gunderson.
Two-out single extends things to Gunderson. Slider off the plate. Gunderson starts ahead. Carson Bain is yet to steal a bag this year. He is 0 for 4 on stolen bases. And time again as another bullpen miscue sends this one towards the backstop. Ball and no strikes. Gunderson takes one there to make it even 1-1. For Carson Bain on that stretch with 11 hits in his last 12 games. Hitting .389 with 3 extra bases. Over that last couple of weeks. Good pitch there, gets an ugly swing from Gunderson and moves the count to 2-2. On the top hitter for the 49ers, drove in the game's first run. Since then has struck out twice and now finds himself in a 2-strike count as Niner Norm and Homer watch from atop the dugout. 2-2. Ooh, just off. And it will run full 3-2. Carson Bain, the runner on the first base bag. He'll be on the move on this payoff. And the big righty comes set and comes home. Called strike 3. Sits down Gunderson on the fastball, and now Gunderson has struck out in each of his last 3 at-bats. And ECU gets a scoreless 7th inning. So Carson Bain's 2-out single goes for naught, but it sends us to the 8th inning. 49ers lead in this one. Blake Gillespie has been phenomenal in this one. 10 strikeouts through 7 innings of work, and he's fanned a number of ECU hitters. He's back to work here in this 8th inning on 91 pitches. And the Friday night starter for Charlotte has looked electric and turned some heads here in this minor league ballpark. He'll face a pinch hitter to start things out as Jack Herring, the redshirt junior switch hitter, will replace Austin Irby, and he'll quickly be behind 0-2. Bounces this slider to ball and 2 strikes. We'll see how long the leash is for Gillespie in this 8th inning as he approaches 100 pitches. The outfielder from Atlanta, Georgia awaits the 1-2. Puts it in play out towards left center field. Spencer Nolan on the move, tracks it down, and there's the first out. It's been very interesting this game to see the different levels of baseball that are shining across 2 of the top mid-major teams in the country in this game. We've seen some Division III stars like Connor Marinack and John Collins. Jack Herring, that pinch hitter, was a Division II star at Rollins, and countless junior college players from the NJCAA ranks among these two sides. Alex Boucher comes up empty on the slider, and he'll fall behind 0-2. Swing and a miss. How about 11 for Blake Gillespie? Another strikeout and a quick 2 outs in the 8th.
Center fielder, number 11.
That no-hitter from Blake Gillespie back on March the 7th really sparked something in the Georgia transfer. Gets a swing and a miss against Alex Peltier for strike 1. 11 strikeouts in that no-hitter, had 7 in a rocky performance on the road against Wilmington, 13 at home against UTSA, 11 on the road at Memphis, 9 in his last outing at Wichita State, and 11 here at the home of the Charlotte Knights here tonight. Bunt down the third base line will roll foul. Not much working offensively for ECU. Only 1 hit this entire time through the order. So why not try to bunt aboard? 5 strikeouts in the last time through the order. And the only base runner, Colby Wallace's leadoff hit in the 7th. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of the Charlotte jerseys started walking back towards the dugout. Home plate umpire Jeff Spisak says no dice, and we continue with a 2-2. Jam shot right side, covering is Gillespie, the flip, and it's in time. Blake Gillespie is through 8 innings of work for the 4th time this season, and he throws up another 0. ECU is scoreless in this game. Gillespie hasn't allowed a run in over 14 innings of work, and we head to the bottom of the 8th with a 6-0 Charlotte lead. 3,627, the official attendance number of folks on hand that fought through the rain earlier in this game. Was supposed to start at 6:05, instead got pushed to a 7:30 start. But this staff with the Knights did a phenomenal job clearing the field. It looks in great condition and has all game long. And we continue here in the bottom of inning number 8. Bradley Zayak on the bump. Working against Dawson Bryce. Had the solo homer in his last at bat. Singled before that. And then drove home a run on a fielder's choice in the 1st. Very productive day for the 49ers third baseman. He's had multiple hits in 4 of his last 5 games now with his 2-hit day today. Oh, runs inside and hits him. 91 to the hip. As Zayak loses control of the 1-2 pitch and puts the leadoff man aboard. Second hit by pitch of the game. And now 38 on the year for the ECU staff, and Dawson Bryce is going to get looked at by the training staff for a moment. But returns to the first base bag. Might have a bruise in the morning, but I'm sure he'll trade that any day for the day that he's had. Reached in all 4 plate appearances, and he's aboard to start the bottom of the 8th as Logan Petit takes a strike. 49ers catchers had a pretty good day as well. 2-run home run in the 4th inning was a bomb out to left center field. Walked and scored in his last trip. Fouls back the 0-1 and finds himself in an 0-2 hole. His 5th home run now puts him at 24 RBIs on the season. And his average up to 262. Fouls away another. Chandler Riley in the on-deck circle for Charlotte. Petit trying to keep the line moving. Ahead in the count 1-2, Zayak tosses over to first base. A number of pickoffs tonight against Dawson Bryce on the first base bag. Only 1 stolen base on the season for him. Takes his lead, and the righty out of the stretch, the 1-2 home. Tipped into the mitten, held onto behind the plate by Barron. Second strikeout for Bradley Zayak, and the first out in the 8th. Laid on that fastball. And so for Logan Petit, he has struck out at least once in each of his last 9 games played. Chandler Riley hasn't struck out today, but 0 for 3. Flew out to center, grounded out to first, and then flew out to left. 1 for his last 15 at the plate. Trying to put it in play behind in the count 0-1. Good block by the sophomore catcher Walker Barron. So no runs on 5 hits for ECU. 6 runs on 7 hits for Charlotte. No errors for either side. And another pickoff attempt. Weekly hit into the bat. There's the third baseman trying to turn it to second for 1, and no chance at the first base bag. Riley beats it out. Another fielder's choice is the second out. And now it's Thad Ector. Ector takes the first for strike 1. Senior designated hitter from Tyrone, Georgia, is competing for a starting job in the offseason. After bouncing around through the lineup, found his starting role as the DH with a good stretch this year. Started his career at South Carolina with the Gamecocks, transferred to College of Central Florida, and after a lot of success there, found his way to the 49ers. Behind 0-2. Swing and a miss. Zayak with another strikeout as he sits down Ector to conclude this 8th inning. So ECU with another scoreless frame, and it is a 6-0 advantage for the 49ers. Last chance for the Pirates. Top of the 9th on the way.
Pitching for the Charlotte 49ers, right-hander, number 29, Joseph Taylor.
To the top of the 9th we go. Joseph Taylor takes over for the 49ers, trying to put the finishing touches on this one. Sophomore from Apex, North Carolina, has been the top stopper for Charlotte this year. 14th appearance, a 3.0 ERA is the tops on this Charlotte team. 5 saves, 36 innings of work, and 49 strikeouts to 22 walks with his .219 batting average against. Look at him as he gets ready. Out of Pro 5 Baseball Academy up in Apex. 22 appearances as a true freshman, and has cemented his role at the back end of this bullpen. First pitch breaker, can't find it against Braden Burris. Top of the order, Burris will get his 4th at bat of the ball game. He's 1 for 2 up to this point. A walk, a single, and a strikeout, all against Blake Gillespie. One. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Gillespie finishes his day, 8 innings of work, 5 hits allowed, no runs, and 11 strikeouts to 1 walk, and that walk was against Burris, the first batter he faced. Locked in after that and twirled an absolute gem. Burris pokes it out towards center. Nolan on the run makes the catch. 1 down.
Left fielder number 25, Braxton Dreamel.
So 1 down in the top of the 9th. And Braxton Trammell, who is 0 for 3, gets his 4th trip and starts behind 0-1. Just off on the next offering from Taylor. And his last 3 outings has only allowed 1 earned run, but got tagged for 3 unearned runs in the loss against Wichita State last Saturday. Nasty breaker there, and he gets a sword of a swing. And Trammell falls behind 1-2. Just misses on the 1-2, and it's even. Elsewhere in the American, Florida Atlantic just held on against Memphis, 2-1 the final. Wichita State trailing UTSA 5-2. South Florida on top of Rice 7-2. And here in Charlotte, Joseph Taylor keeps the train moving with another strikeout of a Pirate hitter, and 2 down in the top of the 9th.
Now batting third baseman number 10, Colby Wallace.
3rd time Trammell's been struck out in this one. And 8 straight ECU's hitters have been sat down. This one shot down the line in right. On the move is the right fielder Furch, and leaping, it will be caught in the corner. Tucked away down the line, Noah Furch runs it down, and that concludes the top of the 9th with another fine defensive play. Noah Furch hangs on, and so does Charlotte. 49ers with a big win in this series opener. They take it 6-0 at home after another Blake Gillespie gem. Gillespie picks up his 5th win of the season, leads the team, and another phenomenal scoreless performance as he gets through 8 innings of work. Joseph Taylor gets the final 3 outs that he needs, and then the bats came through. Cody Gunderson got it started in the first, an RBI single. A second run would come around in that first inning. Logan Petit added 2 more in the 4th with his 2-run bomb. And then in the 6th inning, solo homer the opposite way. Logan Petit came around on a walk and a couple of wild pitches, and those were the 6 that Charlotte needed in this victory. 6-0 the final as the 49ers move to 20-13. ECU's losing streak falls to 5 games. They're 20-15 on the year, and a big conference win for the 49ers, who have won their last 3 contests. So that wraps us up here from Truist Field. For everyone involved in CTV, Charlotte TV folks have done a phenomenal job at the ballpark here today. But I'm Zach McKinstry saying so long from Uptown Charlotte, where the final score is 49ers 6 and ECU 0. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.